Hello, everybody. Hope you're all having a fantastic day so far. Just going to sit tight for a minute here, and then we're gonna kick things off about 5 minutes past the hour here. And as always, feel free to throw in the chat wherever it is you're calling in from, as we always love to see where people are joining us from around the globe here. Welcome, everybody. Great to see you all. And yeah, as I mentioned a moment ago, we're going to be kicking things off in just a second here.
Hey, everybody. Sorry I'm late. How's everybody doing today?
I think we can dive in as we're about 5 minutes past here. Glad to hear it, David. And you as well, Katie. Great to see you all. Okay, so we've got a pretty cool agenda for you guys today, I think. It's not quite like an automation workflow or anything like that, but I think it is going to be valuable. It's just kind of another way that we can utilize Vendastis AI tools to further deliver value to your customers and perhaps to your organization as well. So here's the team today. Of course, myself, Alistair George, Logan Ohitwa, and Dakota Zerk, who's actually out of the office at the moment. So he's going to be sitting this one out. So you're stuck with the two of us. And here's a bit of an agenda for today as well. So our main sort of point is going to be how we can utilize Inbox Pro to deliver lead magnets to our customers. So we could kind of envision this as maybe it being embedded on a landing page that we're sending ads traffic to or something along those lines. So I mean, sort of that traditional lead magnet flow, hey, fill out this form, get this piece of content in return. That's all well and good, but there's also additional ways that we can kind of facilitate that exact same thing, but through a chat instead of a traditional form fill, which I think would be quite valuable. And additionally, at the end, we've got a bit of a surprise for you guys. Some of you might have gotten the inside scoop from your account managers or maybe other sources, but this is something we've been kind of keeping under wraps as we've been building it out, and it is super, super cool, guys. Trust me. You're not going to want to miss this. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in. So going to jump into a business app demo account here. And basically the idea is we just want to give some additional instructions to Inbox to basically kind of facilitate that lead magnet piece that I mentioned a moment ago. So again, just to recap, basically we want to equip the Inbox AI with the ability to give people a link to download a PDF of some kind of lead magnet content. That component's up to you, of course, as to what that content is, but yeah, we're going to set up Inbox so that it will provide that link in exchange for a name and a phone number. So quickly, I'm going to jump into just some dummy content here. I mean, not so much dummy content, it's just an old case study we wrote years ago. I thought it would be good to, just have something. So the easiest way to do this would be to host this in like a Google Drive or a Dropbox or something like that, some kind of cloud storage where basically you can just give anyone on the internet a link, and that link would let them view and download that content. So I've got just that set up already. So we've got this guy hosted in our Google Drive. And now I'm going to just make sure that it's available to anybody. So I'm going to flip this to anyone with the link. Then I'll grab that link and jump back into Business App. And I'm just going to jump into our knowledge base. I'm going to add a text-based knowledge base entry. And I'm going to call it case study. And there's the link. Adding that knowledge to our AI assistant, our chatbot. And lastly, we also need to give it some additional instructions just to tell it what to do with that piece of content. So I'm going to go into AI Workforce and then jump into Configure. And as we can see, I've named this guy Pelly the Pelican after the grocery store down the street from my place called Pelican Market here in Saskatoon. Thought we'd keep it kind of light and fun, that sort of thing. Now, I did do a little bit in ChatGPT before the call as well, so I'm going to switch over to here. If I can figure out how to work this. There we go. So here's my ChatGPT instance here. So basically, I was just going back and forth with ChatGPT to put together that prompting that I want to use for the chatbot, just to make sure that it knows exactly what to do with that case study content and ensure that it doesn't give out the link before it gets some contact details, because that's the whole point of it, right? So I'm just going to copy this prompt that it came up with and then jump back into Business App. And then you'll notice that in my view, this does look a little bit different, and I'm going to get into that a bit later. Bit of a sneak peek on the sneak peek, if you will. So I'm going to pop this guy in here and just delete the additional content that ChatGPT gave it there. Okay, so then I've saved that. So now we've got our additional instructions added to Pelly the Pelican here. And now let's go ahead and spin up the chatbot in sort of a testing environment and have a quick chat with it. And let's see how it does. And just to quickly verify, yes, we do have the case study in here. Always good to check that we've got the right knowledge base added here. So then go into here, the settings for the web chat, go right to the bottom, grab our embed code. Now I'm going to go to something called CodePen, which is something that I might suggest you guys check out. It's codepen.io. I have no affiliation with CodePen at all, but it's a pretty handy tool to basically just test various embeddable things out, whether that's web chat, whether that's a form, anything like that, just to interact with it as if it were on a live website, that sort of thing. So I'm just going to throw our embed code in there, and there we go. We've got Pelly the Pelican here, and now let's have a chat with him right there. I said I'm interested in the case study, and it said I'd be happy to share that with you. Before I do, could I grab your name and best email or phone number so we can follow up if you have any questions? Sure thing. I gave it my name, email, and phone number. Thought I'd do it one better. And additionally, you can kind of adjust the additional instructions a bit as well. So you can say like, hey, we'll also email you a copy or something along those lines. And you can also, set up an automation to have it send a text with a link to that case study as well. But with kind of just, the basic sort of entry level setup here, I just gave it my information in the chat. Then it gave me the link right there in the chat as well. So I'll just go ahead and click on that and pop that open in a new tab. And there we go. There's our case study that we added to our knowledge base there. Pretty cool. And like if we reset it, it should basically like refuse to give out that case study unless it has a name and a phone number, that sort of thing. So I could say, hello, can I have the case study? And then if you kind of push back after that, or it asks for the contact information, it should kind of, stand its ground, do its job, that sort of thing. And then, yeah, it said to kind of double down and said, just drop your contact details and I'll get the case study over to you. So yeah, that's more or less kind of what we want, because we want to kind of have that lead magnet content gated behind the user providing their contact information, because I mean, that's the whole point of a lead magnet, in my opinion. And then I'm going to jump back into the business app just to kind of showcase a few ways that we could sort of enhance this workflow as well. So going to jump into automations here, going to hit create automation, creating a new one using the blank template. And then I'll use our handy dandy web chat captures a lead trigger. And then going to send a prompt to AI. And in here, I'll say from the chat summary, and then grab that dynamic content there. Please determine if the user has requested a case study, or maybe the case study. If they have, output yes. If they have not, output no. Please only output yes or no. And it's just as a best practice here. You want to be like super specific with this step. So kind of like think of every possible scenario and give it instructions for that scenario. So, and then also like you want to be very specific in terms of like the response you're looking for. So like, for example, if you did not have the sort of final bit of text there saying, please output only yes or no, you might sometimes get a response that's like, the user said that they did, or like, quote unquote, yes. The user did request a case study or something like that. Like it'll add extra stuff in there, which can mess up our workflow. So that's why we want to be just super specific as to the exact sorts of responses that we're looking for here. So once we've got our prompt good to go, we're going to hit save, and then going to throw in an if-else branch, and then switch this to workflow data, and then switch this to send a prompt to AI, and then if the response contains yes, so yes, they did request a case study, then we could maybe put in a second if-else branch to check to see what sort of contact information they provided. So we can say contact data, phone number. So if the phone number exists, then let's say, send SMS via inbox, because, if we gave them, or if they gave out their phone number, then let's get them there, because SMS is always kind of, the best channel in comparison to email or something like that. So we can say, hi there, first name. And throw the link in there. If you have any questions, feel free to reply here. We will get back to you immediately. As of course, the SMS engine is going to be wired up to the same web chat AI. So if, say, they do have any questions, they can always just respond over SMS, go back and forth with the SMS AI, which, in my opinion, is huge, because if we think of this through the lens of a pre-sale customer that's kind of in that consideration phase. If we get them onto the landing page, we get them interested in our lead magnet content, whatever it is, they request a link to that, they get it, and then they get that text message on their phone saying, hey, let us know if you have any questions. Maybe they do have a question, and now they're talking to your customer's instance of the AI. And at that point, we've effectively stopped the shop. They're no longer thinking, hey, which business should I work with? They're thinking, okay, now I need to learn more about this business, our customer, right? So, I mean, this could be, a pretty huge advancement depending on the industry we're talking about. So quickly save that guy here, and then also as a fallback, say they provided an email. We could do the same thing over email, send a plain text email via inbox, and throw the text in there. And this is more or less what it looks like. So web chat captures a lead, analyzing the conversation to determine if they requested a case study or not. If they did, then let's send it over and let them know that, hey, they can engage with our AI off the web chat, depending on whatever communication channel they provided there. So that's kind of one of the ways that that we could sort of enhance this workflow, so that way, we're getting the conversation off of web chat and onto their mobile device, whether that's so over SMS or email. Let us know in the chat. Is this something that you guys think your customers could use? Are there any other ideas as to how this could be applied or maybe enhanced or anything like that? feel free to share your thoughts with the group in the chat there. Awesome. Glad to hear it, Clint, and Glenn as well. And I got to tell you guys, this piece here, this send a prompt to AI, this is so incredibly powerful. Yeah, you said it, Don. So many uses for this thing. And Tom, I hear you. We are, that is coming in terms of the WhatsApp integration. We're just working through some sort of like approval stuff with Meta, who own WhatsApp, of course. But we know that you folks over in the UK and other parts of the world as well, WhatsApp's kind of the main challenge or the main channel, and SMS is kind of not really something people use. So that's definitely something we're working on. So stay tuned. And Edwin, yeah, definitely. You could for sure use this to send a quote or something like that. I mean, heck, you could even maybe use this AI to generate the quote. So say, maybe you give the Inbox AI some instructions to ask for, say, 4 pieces of information. I mean, that could vary a lot depending on the industry, but, ask you for those 4 pieces of information and then have the send a prompt to AI retrieve those 4 pieces of information, give it a criteria, maybe a mathematical formula, something like that, and then it'll be able to come back with a number, and then we can include that follow-up. So, I mean, definitely test workflows like that. Really put them through their paces just to make sure they're doing what you want them to. But that sort of thing is 100% possible. Katie, question in the chat there. So curious if when we trigger a plain text, email, or SMS, if the conversation then shows up in inbox or only if they answer. So to answer your question, Katie, yes, it will show up in inbox. Anything that is sent via an automation just flows right into this inbox tab here. And additionally, we also have like form fill submissions showing up here as well, which I think is pretty cool. And because Frank the Tank has provided his phone number, apparently, we can now get him on SMS or email because we have both of those pieces of contact information on file. And I mean, Edwin, to answer your question, for sure, sending pre-made quotes would probably be a lot more straightforward. But I just wanted to mention that, I mean, you could use use that send a prompt to AI step to, to kind of generate things on the fly, just depending on, the nature of your customer's business or maybe the way you guys do business. Yep, 100%, Don. That's definitely something that's that could be done. So, for example, you could import contacts from whatever system they're using, and then sort of start a timer. Maybe like 2 weeks after an appointment is completed, the SMS could follow up and say like, "Hey, John, how are you feeling?" And then give the AI some instructions to suggest that they book a follow-up appointment if maybe some of that soreness is coming back there or something like that. But one thing that I will call out, Don, is just make sure that what you're doing is HIPAA compliant, just as that is something to be aware of when it comes to dealing with anyone in that sort of medical space there. Awesome. Okay, so I think I might jump into the next stage of our agenda for today here. So just going to, before my laptop dies, there we go, plug that guy in. So there's kind of the special sneak peek that I mentioned at the beginning there. I'm sure you guys are interested to, to hear what that is. So rather than telling, I'm going to show you guys. And again, this is so freaking cool. I am so excited to see what you guys are going to do with this functionality, because I think this is going to change the game, folks. So I'm going to jump into AI, and then I'm going to jump into AI Workforce. And you guys did, kind of get a sneak peek of the sneak peek towards the beginning of the session today. But now we're going to dive in and just talk about what it's going to be capable of, that sort of thing. In later sessions, we're going to actually dive into some potential use cases. But I'm going to shut up now, stop keeping you all in suspense, and pull it up here. So I'm going to hit this configure button on our friend Pelly the Pelican here. And we're going to notice that we've got a new section in the web chat configuration called custom capabilities. Now, this is something the team's been working on pretty hard for the past several months here, and it's more or less ready to go now. I believe we are going to be rolling it out to trusted testers at the end of this month. Now, what are custom capabilities? They are essentially giving the AI different sort of tools, if you were. So we could say, and when I say tools, I mean APIs. So like one example use case could be like an inventory lookup. So say we have a e-commerce customer that has a Shopify website. We can give the AI the ability to live on the fly in the middle of a conversation, look up inventory using Shopify's APIs. And then in here, you're going to want to include some prompting to basically tell the AI, hey, here's what this tool is, here's what it does, here's how to use it. You do need to be pretty robust in terms of the prompting that you include here. But the good news is that ChatGPT will be quite good at sort of helping you out with that. And I'm going to have several sessions down the line kind of focusing on this, just because, again, I can't stress this enough. There are so many possibilities with this thing. Like, say, for example, our customers using a proprietary business management software, and maybe they're a service-based business, and they're all about appointments, booking appointments into their system, their proprietary system, whatever it is. As long as they have APIs, we can work with it. So I'm going to quickly go into add a tool, click new tool. Actually, let's save this, put some stuff in there. Jump back in, add tool, new tool. And then here's basically where you want to kind of build out that API call for the agent to use when it deems the situation is appropriate. So it's basically like, we've got like a actual human employee, and we're just giving them a new tool. So we could say like, hey, you can look up inventory here, you can go here to book appointments, all sorts of things like that. Basically any sort of API or webhook or anything like that. This is something that that could potentially apply. I'll take a quick pause. You guys have any questions for me about this? Any ideas popping into your heads as to how this could be used? Maybe you guys have a specific customer in mind. What do you guys think?
I am very excited. I think for everyone on the call as well, we get asked all the time, hey, Vendasys CRM is great, but we already have, I have a client who already is using HubSpot or Pipedrive or Zoho or Salesforce or some other third-party system. This can be a great sort of inroad to still leverage things like the chat technology and integrate it with those tools. and eventually help you win over the entire book of business. At the end of the day, things like Zoho, HubSpot, Salesforce, they all carry a monthly cost. Our CRM does not, but it's a way that you can let them continue to work within the existing system they have in place. And then over time, you can either win over that margin for yourself or help the client save some money by moving them into Vendasta's systems in the long term as well.
And additionally, I know that like our sort of corporate marketing team, they, I believe, do have some content planned down the line for this. So I am maybe stealing a bit of their thunder. So for anyone on that team that's watching this, I'm sorry. But I thought, as you guys are kind of, this select group, the best of the best, the most curious, the biggest innovators, I thought you guys deserved that inside peek here.
Couple of really interesting points in the chat here. Edwin called out, you could use this to check a third-party email contact list for info. That's exactly spot on. This could be integrated with Clay or Apollo or Rocket Reach or Zoom Info, whatever the case may be. You may even want to use Yesware Prospector, just to throw a plug out for our own tool here that we love at Vendasta. And then Tom had mentioned, some people are that he's showing the receptionist to are excited about customer care more than sales. This is probably well known, but just in case it isn't, if you want to just show Alistair how we can config to capture leads or not within Inbox, there is actually a toggle in there for anyone who isn't aware, where you can actually set the primary goal to capture leads or to just provide information. I like to explain this as obviously the lead capture is pretty straightforward. You're trying to actually capture customer information, but we use our own Inbox technology internally for our HR bot. When I ask, hey, how do I update my benefits, or how do I book a vacation day, or whatever the case may be, it doesn't end the conversation by saying, and by the way, what's your name and number so we can get back to you? It's just purely providing information as a resource for me as an employee. We just toggled off that capture lead information, and it's going to just be a informational or a support agent as well. Now, the other thing where this can get really powerful as well, Tom, and we can maybe plan a future session around this to kind of walk people through how to configure in this way. But I have lots of partners who are leveraging this where they've got maybe an existing book of business, as well as they're trying to capture new leads on their website, and they have customers coming into the chat who are already an existing customer. So you can actually configure the AI to say, as the first step, hey, are you a new or an existing customer? And if they are an existing customer, it acts more as a support agent. But if they're a new customer, it actually walks them through that sales script or that sales workflow and tries to capture them as a lead as well. So just a couple of thoughts off of that same idea on how you can leverage this, not just as a lead conversion tool.
Yeah, 100%. We're seeing more and more folks kind of use it in that way, and kind of for that dual purpose, like the sales and the support. And I've seen a lot of folks, to kind of set up the support side of it, if you will. They'll have it kind of kick off the conversation by asking for their contact details. It's like, hey, are you an existing customer? Oh, yes, I am. Great. Can I get your name and number just so I can find your profile? Any existing customer, probably wouldn't have any issue with that. And, that way, if maybe they're not in the database for some reason, maybe they were a customer 10 years ago. That way, you still get that information and nothing's getting lost.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Shahed had asked, one of my clients uses Squarespace for their booking solution. Can we integrate that? You most certainly can with custom, God, I always forget the name, Alistair, sorry, custom connections.
Capabilities, I think, is
custom
the
capabilities.
name.
I'll get it eventually, I swear.
And I would just suggest that you confirm that Squarespace has the right APIs. But based on my knowledge of Squarespace, I'm like 80% sure that they do. But would definitely recommend that you kind of pull up their API documentation and that sort of thing. And again, as I mentioned a moment ago, we are definitely going to be doing a number of sessions on how we can utilize custom capabilities, how we can set them up, how we can, perhaps do a bit of discovery through API documentation. Because, like, say, for example, we've got a customer, they're using Squarespace. Let's look at Squarespace's APIs to figure out what we could use in terms of, specific APIs for specific functions, just to kind of give the AI additional tools, that sort of thing. And in addition, as we've seen, this is going to be applied to the web chat, the text-based AI, or web chat, SMS, all of that wonderful stuff. But in addition, it is also going to be available to the voice receptionist as well. So, you guys could maybe imagine a world where, we've got our voice receptionist truly acting as a receptionist and answering questions, collecting lead information, and perhaps most importantly, it's booking appointments directly into our customer's system. Awesome. That was about all I had to cover today, and I noticed we are running a little bit ahead of schedule. So I'll take another bit of a pause here, just in case there's any other questions in the chat there.
Tom, we are also imagining a world where voice is launched in the UK. We're hoping to get there sooner than later, but it's obviously with GDPR and things of that nature, it's a little bit more extensive to get a product like this rolled out on the European and UK side. Let's just see here.
Yeah, always, never being annoying, Tom. We will get to it eventually. We promise.
Most certainly. We had, you might have spoke to this already. Sorry, Alistair, but Sabine had asked, so what can this do with Zoho? I'm a bit confused. So really, it will depend a bit on Zoho's APIs and what Zoho allows you to connect to. But let's just say in the simplest case, Sabina, Zoho has an API connection for opportunities in a pipeline. You could have the AI chat gather a conversation from a customer, determine, hey, there's a opportunity here for a water heater repair or something of that nature. And then it would take that opportunity and it would push the context of that opportunity to Zoho so that the opportunity was created in their pipeline, just as a lightweight sort of high level example. It might be transferring contact records. It might be that the chat captures the lead and we automatically add that lead as a contact in Zoho's CRM. Like I said, really just depends on the types of APIs that Zoho gives you access to.
And so, yeah, definitely encourage you guys to dig up the API documentation for whatever platforms your customers are using, or maybe platforms that you yourselves use. Read through them. Typically, the way these are set up is, the names are likely self-explanatory. So, the name will kind of tell you a bit about what it does, and then there's going to be a bit more information as to how the API works, the sort of data that's set up to receive and send back, that sort of thing. But again, we are going to be doing some future sessions on this, so I'm not going to get too far into the weeds with this right now.
Yeah. The next one down here, Glenn called out, be cool to use this. I think he was referring to the agent as more of or the web chat as more of a support agent, but it'd be cool to use this to help clients with dashboard related questions. Glenn, I don't want to steal the thunder of the product teams, but one of the things that we've been working on internally at Vendasta is an AI support agent that is trained on all things Vendasta. So today, right now, Alistair and I can go into a Google chat and we can literally just ask a question and our AI support bot responds back with information about the product or the service or whatever we might need to know about the platform. As with most things, Vendasta is usually our first customer. We're the guinea pig. We test it on ourselves internally first. But we have been told recently that the plan is to roll that out, I think by the end of Q2 for our broader partner base as well. So that means you'll actually have a AI support agent for yourselves to use, and it's not a far stretch from there to create one that you can use for your customers as well. So that's kind of where we're heading. The goal is that they can actually respond and leverage that AI to understand, hey, where do I go to request a review again? That shouldn't have to be a question that comes into your inbox, it's something they can just ask an AI assistant and it'll remind them, just navigate to the reputation management tool on the left-hand side and click request reviews or respond to review. And Alistair just showed on the screen there an example of that AI assistant internally that we have as a beta for our internal staff to use.
And yeah, I mean, it's kind of just trained on all of our knowledge, but I mean, when we do roll it out to you folks, our partners, you will have the ability to sort of curate that knowledge. So, you know, maybe you know, you're not selling a particular component of the Business App Pro stack, then you can just remove all reference to it. So that way, you know, no one's getting confused, that sort of thing. Or perhaps say you guys have a, you know, a specific product or service that you're delivering in-house alongside our stack, then you can give that support agent knowledge on, you know, that as well. So then it can kind of just be able to answer questions about anything that it is you guys are offering to kind of deliver that cohesive experience rather than it being, you know, just the Vendasta bot kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm going to skip around through a few of these questions here just because you're on this part of the platform, Alistair. Tom had asked, is it possible for some basic features to be visible in some business apps but not in others? So if you look on the screen right now where Alistair has the accounts panel, and if you select Manage Business App, there's a couple of different ways that you can set this up. So you can do it globally by clicking that Customize Business App option, and you can toggle off what kind of the baseline is for all of your customers, Tom. But then what Alistair, I think, was going to show is you can either click on Manage Users, or you can do it directly from an account page itself, where you can actually manage user permissions down to the customer level as well. So this can be done by going into the account page and editing the permissions on a particular user. An example of how this might be used, I might have a social media manager internally to my organization. I don't want them to be able to see my CRM. I don't want them to be able to set up or manipulate automated workflows. I can toggle all of those options off so that when that staff member logs in, all they see is Social Marketing Pro as a product SKU. Vice versa, I might want my sales team to only have access to the CRM and the pipeline, and maybe the review request option or something of that nature. We could come in and actually manipulate it so the sales reps only have access to those particular permissions as well. So that can be set up, again, globally for all of your customers if it's consistent, or down to the user level on an account as well, depending on what you need to set up for a particular user. Edwin had asked if you'd be able to show the configuration on that case study automation again one more time, Alistair.
Sure thing. Let's get that pulled up here and jump back into our automation, and I'll kind of walk through it piece by piece here. So our trigger, of course, is when web chat captures a lead. And then our first step is going to be sending a prompt to AI. And in here, I'm just going to make this a bit bigger. In the AI prompt, we're saying from the chat summary with that dynamic content there, please determine if the user has requested the case study. If they have, output yes in quotes. If they have not, output no in quotes. Please output only yes in quotes or no in quotes. So very specific as to what it's doing and what its outputs should be. Just being like, you know, kind of repeating yourself, that sort of thing. That seems to be kind of the, you know, the best practice when it comes to setting that up. So just being like very firm, very strict with your wording. So that way, you know, the AI can't really sort of go outside the lines sort of things, because sometimes it'll like quote unquote interpret the prompt in a certain way that is maybe not what we had in mind. But if we're, you know, just very rigid with our wording, then it can't really do that, because there's only really one way that it can be interpreted. And then following our send a prompt to AI step, we've then got an if-else branch, which is looking at the response of this step here. So we've got workflow data, then we've got that AI prompt step selected, and then response contains yes, which is what we told it to output if that case study was requested. And then below that, we've got the we've got another if else branch checking to see what contact information is available. And we're looking to see if the phone number exists. If it does exist, then we're sending a, oh, whoops. Messed that one up there. So should be send an SMS message via inbox. And I'll delete that other one here. I guess I used the wrong step there. So yeah, send an SMS message via inbox. And we're saying, hi, first name, here's a link to the case study as requested, and then the link. If you have any questions, feel free to reply here. We will get back to you immediately. And then if the phone number does not exist, then therefore there must be an email, just because in order for a contact to have this trigger fire, there needs to be at minimum a phone number or an email. So then if there's no phone number, there must be an email, just kind of, logically, right? And then for the email, I just kind of threw the same text in there, but you guys could definitely expand upon that a bit. Maybe format it slightly differently for email instead of SMS. Oh, I think you're on mute there, Logan.
Yes, Sam, thank you. So thank you very much for that. There's a couple other questions in here. Clint said, sorry if this is off topic, bunch of context in there, but basically asking, having some issues configuring the voice receptionist, and support mentioned that he should set up in Partner Center as opposed to Business App. Is there a reason for this? Primary reason, Clint, is just that if you set up the Partner Center one, it will log those leads in your Partner Center CRM as opposed to the Business App CRM. If you're okay with working out of the Business App CRM, then you're perfectly fine to use the voice receptionist at the Business App level. But you did mention, you've been training it for a few months. You don't want to have to start over. The nice thing is with the configuration, you should be able to just copy and paste the config out of Business App and into Partner Center, and it should work and operate in the same way. This can be helpful not only for yourself to roll this out sort of at Partner Center versus Business App, but it can be a great way to kind of pre-build configs for clients that are in the same industry as well. If you know that most accounting clients need the voice to act in a certain way, you can actually kind of pre-config their receptionist so that it follows like an industry standard. Or if you were working with, say, like a multi-location or a franchise group, same sort of idea. And then Tom had mentioned two other things. One, it would be great to have the Vendasta support AI branded as their own brand. That is exactly the vision, Tom. We want to have a support agent that not only you can position for your end customers, but one that you guys can actually use through Vendasta directly as well. And then eventually even further downstream to where your customers could offer a support agent that is being utilized and interacted with their end customers as well. So sort of a three-tiered support model there. And then Tom had also asked, who is the best person or team to talk to about a major job management integration? Alistair, I'll maybe kick that over to you.
Yeah, so I'd say the best person to reach out to kind of kick things off would be your account manager or the customer success team, kind of whoever your dedicated Vendasta contact is. From there, they can go to various people within the company, our solution architecture team, potentially myself, and then we can, kind of do a bit of research and sort of help you out with that project there. Just depending on, some, a few different factors, but long answer to a short question. Reach out to your dedicated contact first. Try to gather, as much information as you can, of course, just to make things a bit easier. And then your account manager or customer success or whoever they might be would be able to work with experts internally within Vendasta to ensure you get the support you need.
Awesome. And I think that is all the questions that we had in the chat today. I know we're kind of right at time here. Glad we were able to make the pivot and showcase some of the new features. I don't know about you, Alistair, but I did not know it was coming out quite this quickly. We knew it was coming, but I didn't think it was coming for a month or so.
Yeah, like next month kind of thing. But yeah, I was quite delighted to see that in there this morning.
Yeah, no kidding. Me as well. But yeah, beyond that, for everyone else, thanks as always for joining us on the session today. If anybody else has any questions, obviously feel free to reach on out. Is there a way to automate forwarding a Gmail contact to the Vendasta pipeline? There sure is, Edwin. I would highly advise grab yourself a license of Yesware. Our Yesware integration Yesware is a tool that overlaps with Gmail, and it allows you to automatically push leads into the Vendasta CRM from your Gmail contacts. What we can do, maybe, I don't know if we had a plan in place already for next week, Alistair, but I was actually thinking a session around Yesware and the CRM integration would probably make sense. Again, it's not directly automations and workflows, but it feeds kind of a starting point for a lot of those workflows that we might be leveraging as well. So that's something, Edwin, in the short term, I would suggest checking out Yesware in the marketplace and grabbing a license of that product. So that, and then we'll set up a session to actually walk you through and kind of train people on best practices with that tool as well. I can likely present that in a week or two, or else we can even bring in maybe Mam or John, who are our sales engineers on the Yesware side, to really do a deep dive there as well. Awesome. Perfect. Don, question, just where can you get the review of the presentation? So there's a couple of places. I'm going to drop a CTA over top of the window here. So there is the Vendasta content library. From here, you'll be able to find all of our past webinar recordings. In the case of Workshop Wednesdays, or Workflow Wednesdays, sorry, in particular, SQL has a bit of a unique workflow when it comes to reoccurring sessions like this. So Alistair, Dakota, and I are working on a bit of a process to get these uploaded to YouTube. So there will be a YouTube playlist where you'll be able to find not only this session, but all past sessions. We haven't completely rolled that all out yet. We're hoping to get that done in the next week or so here as well. But for the time being, you are able to get the recordings of any other past webinars through that content library as well.
Excellent.
Awesome.
I think we can probably call it there. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Always a pleasure to see you all. Hope you found it valuable, and hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday, and we'll see you all next week.
Awesome. Talk to y'all soon.
Bye, folks.